Hello, welcome back to Football United TV. Thank you everybody for viewing today. I'm joined by a special guest today, Arsenal fan from Toronto, but literally living in London. Is that correct?
No, Basingstoke now, Basingstoke.
Basingstoke?
Yeah.
Yeah, some people from America would still count that as London, so that's good.
Yeah, Reading area.
Ibrahim, how you doing, mate? You cool?
I'm chilling, man. You can just call me the Kitty G or Igal, up to you. You guys can catch me on Sonny TV. You already know it's the Kitty G. Let's get it.
Kitty G, let's get it. Well, let's get your points of view on what's going to happen tomorrow, mate. Chelsea versus Arsenal, Arsenal versus Chelsea, whatever way you want to say it, it doesn't really matter. It's happening. What do you think, mate? Is this going to be revenge for Arsenal, what happened last year in the Europa League final? I think it should be. What do you make?
Oh, man. We were literally just talking about this a few seconds ago. I genuinely believe that what happened to the club at Baku last season is going to be on some of those players' minds. Maybe some of them have left and they're not there. But, for example, guys like Aubameyang would remember the pain. Lacazette would remember the pain. Guys like Xhaka were on the pitch. They would remember the pain. And that set the club back financially. It set the club back from having Champions League football. It set us back 2 seasons. It cost not only a manager a job, you'd say, possibly, but it cost some players their jobs, and it cost some staff at the club some jobs, because this whole pandemic happened now, and Arsenal not having the Champions League money destroyed our season this season, even, you could say, and some of the signings we were going to get. Because last season we were looking to get Zaha, we were looking to get these other players across, we were looking to get a decent center back in, but we had to get William Saliba, wait for him for a season, ended up getting David Luiz. We thought at the beginning of the season we were guaranteed to get top 4. And for what the club has gone through this season, the struggle and just the pain as a fan, I'm usually optimistic and very positive, but when you look at it realistically, you have to see that, hey, it's been a dreadful season. And as a fan, you can only say it can only get better. It cannot get worse than 8th.
Yeah, it's like the worst positioning of Arsenal in the Premier League's history, right? So
yeah.
So it would be I don't want to say a failure, but because you can't really put it on the fact that you've changed managers in one season. Emery was really a no-show. I don't know whether you feel the same thing.
Let me tell you how it happened. We went from Emery, who won Europa League after Europa League, to bottling the league and the Europa League last season, to Ljungberg, who's never managed a day in his life as a head coach. On top of that, not only did Ljungberg coach the team, he had no backroom staff. He had the kitchen lady and the academy leader, which was Per Mertesacker as his number 2. He had no actual coaching staff with him. Okay? On top of that, we got rid of a lot of players. We got rid of majority of our captains. We got rid of Kashani, who was a captain, and Nacho Monreal, who was a captain. That's 2 captains that we lost. Petr Cech was gone, and Ramsey was gone. That's 4 captains leaving the club. Right? So just think about that. 4 captains leaving the club. 2 managers who've never managed a day in their life. Unai Emery having the whole team against him. David Luiz still worrying about his contract because he only has 1 season we signed him for. And don't even get me started. Xhaka. I love Xhaka. But him telling the fans to, flip off, that was the end for Emery, because he was his captain. This season was crazy, bro.
Do you think, isn't it weird how that's changed from the flip-off that he gave, and then suddenly at the moment people still, not every Arsenal fan of course, but the majority of Arsenal fans that I speak to still feel that Xhaka could play an important role in the future. I mean, how do you feel about that?
I like Xhaka, and some people are going to slate me for this, but he is our best midfielder. And don't forget, people talk about a combined 11 with Arsenal and Chelsea. I personally think Xhaka gets in there next to Conte, because in my opinion, he's better than Jorginho, and you can flip a coin between him and Kovacic. But in my opinion, I would rather have him than Jorginho or Kovacic.
What happened to Jorginho? Such a great player. Everybody wanted him. Chelsea get him, nab him, and then suddenly it's nothing. There's nothing there. They're even bringing in their reserve players to take his place, which is it doesn't look very good, does it?
Billy Gilmore's in there now, getting more, shine than him. I personally believe the whole thing that happened with him is, when you look at Jorginho, he came in for Sarri, and he followed Sarri from Napoli to Chelsea, and now he's going to probably follow him to Juventus. So I don't think he's a Lampard-type player. I don't think Lampard wants him. But getting back to FA Cup, mate,
Yes.
It's going to be both coaches are going to have their first chance to win a title this season. And the fact that Arsenal lost last season, Arteta is a football man. And he knows more than anybody, Arsenal lost last season. Embarrassing loss to Giroud and the boys, Hazard scoring and his goodbye to Chelsea. And we needed that game more. And today we need it even more now because last season we were in 5th and we were saying it was a bad season. Well, if we lose this, we're not even going to be in Europe. So we have to win this for the money, to get European football, to help us attract better players. Because if we don't have European football, how are we going to get some of the players that we want to get, like Thomas Partey? It's never going to happen.
So it kind of like it's like a sort of round circle. The fact that I think Chelsea, I don't know whether this is correct, but they won the Europa League final last year. Did that get them into the Champions League? Or were they already qualified?
They finished 4th ahead of us.
Yeah,
and they won the Europa League. So not only did they beat us to top 4, but they also beat us to, the Europa League. So it's just...
So FA Cup gets you Europa League. And
League Cup would get you Europa League also if the FA Cup winner was a non... But it doesn't work it doesn't work all the time like that. Because they were saying before, it used to be whoever qualifies to the FA Cup, if one team doesn't win and the other team is not in Europe, they automatically get in. But last year, think about it, Watford were not in the Europa League, so I don't think it works like that anymore.
Yeah. I don't think they would have done very well either. But what do you make of, no crowd being there, the fact it's at Wembley and lifting the FA Cup in a crowdless stadium? I mean, it's going to be very strange to see it on TV. Especially the semis, they were very strange to see at Wembley. But if Arsenal lift the FA Cup tomorrow, I mean, how are you going to feel anyway, even though no one can be there? I mean, is it going to be a different...
I'm going to be shameless. I'm going to be gassed. It doesn't matter if we lift it with no fans or fans. Of course, I would love to be there. You know what I mean? I'd love to be in the stadium. I'd love for us fans to be in the stadium to celebrate with our teams and support our teams. And don't forget, Wembley's our second home. Arsenal always wins at Wembley, usually at least. Right? We usually lose before we get to Wembley, but when we get to Wembley, we usually do good. But unfortunately, the fans are not going to be there with them on. And I think it's going to be a different game because, of course, it's no home court advantage anyways. We're both in London. We're both in Wembley. But one thing that does help is when your team is not playing well, it does push that team on a little bit more. And it also puts more pressure on the team that's not playing well. So I think the fact that depending on our tactics, if our tactics is to be the team that's the aggressive team, front foot, then I think it might hinder us not having the fans. But if we're being the defensive team and letting Chelsea come on to us so we can counterattack them, then in that case, the fans not being there might actually relieve some of the pressure from the players. Especially the fact that there's going to be young players on both teams. It's going to be a lot less pressure for some of these young players with no fans than if there were fans. For example, playing Saka all the time, no pressure because there's no fans yelling at him. Or even Tammy Abraham, when he was playing at the beginning of the season, he was getting a lot of abuse. Now he doesn't have the fans that he has to worry about. So it's a lot more I think it's more for the players, a positive sometimes, and also it can be a negative. But for the fans, it's only negative. Let's be real.
Do you think that if Arsenal do win it, do you think the transfer window could be different for Arsenal?
Let's be honest. Financially, you only make what? I don't know. You make what, 2 million from winning the FA Cup, and then of course being in the Europa League does help. It gives you another 60 million, but it's not the same level as the Champions League. The Champions League, if you win the Champions League, I think you get the equivalent of winning the Europa League 4 times. So if you win the Europa League, the prize money that you get from getting to that level of the Europa League, you'd have to win the Champions League. And you win the Champions League, it's basically, if it was a pie graph, it would be like this compared to that. It would literally be 4 times the size of the.
It would be best to sort of get something from nothing anyway.
You're almost better off as a club to be in the Champions League and get knocked out in the round of 16 financially than to win the Europa League. But obviously, the Europa League comes with the trophy, and as Arsenal, we want to win every trophy that we're in. I'm one of those fans. It doesn't matter that we're in the FA Cup, League Cup, Community Shield. Even you see Liverpool fans celebrating the Club World Cup like they won the World Cup. So it doesn't matter what you win, you take it.
Hey, Mourinho did that the other day when they got Europa League. Did you see the way he celebrated at the end of the game? It was sort of like he won the Champions.
I think they did that for the Amazon comedy special. Let's be honest. The comedy special on Amazon that's coming out soon, guys. Check it out. It's called Tottenham All or Nothing, and I can guarantee you it was nothing.
Is it going to be involved with like Mourinho's adverts that he's doing
They
recently?
have footage. They have footage from things sacking.
Really?
Yeah, they have footage from the sacking. It's coming. I have Amazon Prime. I'm ready. That is going to be a comedy special. They have footage of him leaving. He didn't get to speak to the players. They have footage of Pochettino writing on the message on the board to the players saying goodbye as he was leaving.
Wow. And, I mean, like, I think that was the biggest mistake they made. I know he hasn't won anything, and I know Mourinho's got a very big trophy cabinet, but I mean, Pochettino was sort of like we're talking about with Frank Lampard and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, the fact that they're new, they're upcoming. And I just think, why did you do that? Why did you get Mourinho in? Like, I call him Croquet Mourinho because it's just boring to play.
There's some Arsenal fans that wanted him instead of Arteta.
Yeah.
And they also wanted Ancelotti. To me, Arteta is the man for the job. And if you're deluded if you think old dog's going to learn new tricks with Mourinho. He's already done it with Ndembele. And also, forget about Tottenham. They're irrelevant because they have the biggest flop of the season, and people still talk about Pepe being a flop when they have Ndembele, who hasn't done nothing for them all season. Lo Celso, who gets talked about like he's prime in Iniesta, but he hasn't done nothing all season for them. Willock has more goals than him. Did you know that? More goal involvement also.
That's mental.
No, he has more goals than both of them actually.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and you know Willock doesn't get mentioned at all.
But you wouldn't think it, would you? But when you actually look at the sheet and look at what actually is happening and I know people like to throw out statistics and say like, oh no, they've got better stats, and sometimes it doesn't matter. But in the case that you're bringing up to the table, it does matter, doesn't it? You know?
Yeah, an academy player who's under 20 has 5 goals when your record signing and your other January signing that you got on loan in the summer has nothing. But yeah, I talk too much about Tottenham. I hate it. They're in our heads. But yeah.
Well, always, isn't it? It's sort of like the Troy Deeney thing with Arsenal as well. Like, you don't play Watford, you play Troy Deeney. You know, you're always out to play against Troy. It doesn't matter about...
I actually like Troy as a guy. But what he said, people are going to be angry about it. And I think it's just a lot of banter. I genuinely enjoyed it. I genuinely enjoyed the banter. And I loved it when he missed the penalty when Czech stopped it last season. And this season, them getting relegated. Hopefully we can get Decore out of it. Because Decore, to me, is a baller.
Be a great fit for Arsenal, I really do. He even looks, even before they even got relegated, you could just see him in an Arsenal shirt. And I think a really good buy as well. He's not going to cost too much, really. Watford are probably not doing very good.
Yeah, Watford have some ballers. All the relegation teams have some good players. You would probably take Jamal Lewis from Norwich as a left back at United. But when it comes to this, forget about that, man. FA Cup.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it. The FA Cup. I want to win the FA Cup, and it's history. Football heritage, as Mourinho said. The FA Cup, Arsenal, the team with the most FA Cups, Man United second, I think.
Yeah.
Wenger with the most FA Cup victories as a coach with 7. I think Sir Alex has 5. Am I mistaken?
Yeah, do you know what? I'd need to look that up. But I think
we have to look it up.
Yeah. But we definitely got about 2 or 3.
Let me ask you a question. Has the FA Cup been devalued? Because as Arsenal fan, we get criticized when we win the FA Cup, we get said, oh, it's just the FA Cup. But when we don't win anything and we finish outside the top 4 last season, we get criticized. Oh, you couldn't even win Europa League. But I think we just get criticized. Us fans at Arsenal and Man United, we get criticized at a higher level.
I was talking about this to somebody earlier and sort of asking, where did the FA Cup go wrong? Where did it sort of fizzle out? And someone said to me, it was Man United during the World Cup club when they pulled out of the FA Cup that time, which is in 2000, I think it was, when we went to Brazil. The first ever team to just sort of say we're not going to be entering in the competition. And since then it has. Not for me, though. I still find the importance needed in football. And the fact that it's the first cup you could win in this sport, I think it should be looked at like it is all around the world. Maybe not in England, it's not looked at as a big competition anymore, but if you look at places like South America, Africa, and Asia, they still love the FA Cup. There'll be a lot more people watching the FA Cup than people in England, which is strange because it is a sort of national thing. But like you said, Arsenal have won it so many times now. It should be on them to win it again this time. Chelsea will obviously be looking to steal it again after what happened to Europa League. But I've got all my bets, all my money on Arsenal winning, especially what happened between City and Liverpool recently with Arsenal. That's amazing. You could have been playing City in the final, but you beat them in the semis. It's just you'd have rather played them in the semis, I think, which you did.
Let me tell you how crazy this season has happened. We had our captain at the club, Kashani, say take off his shirt and say he's going to France for Bordeaux. We had our manager get COVID. We had a player tell the fans to F off. We've lost to relegation teams. We lost to Sheffield United away. What else happened? We got knocked out of the Europa League by Olympiacos. Oh my God, we got destroyed at the Emirates by Frankfurt. They got Emery sacked. We got destroyed by Liverpool. We lost to Mourinho's Tottenham. The only team that I could think that we got better of this season is probably Man United, because we didn't lose to you guys this season. But when it comes to this season being a terrible season, we also had Guendouzi go crazy and AWOL last minute with the whole Neil Maupay thing, and now say he wants to leave, being a diva. Our manager got COVID again. If I didn't mention that was crazy. And then just the whole season has been ridiculous. There could be a story written on this season for each club, I think, but especially for Arsenal, a team that was guaranteed. Everyone was saying we had Nicolas Pepe, 72 million, amazing signing, to now possibly winning a trophy at the end of this terrible season. Hindsight is such a beautiful thing. When you look back and you say, oh, we should be better. But now seeing where we finished, if we win the FA Cup, I think you have to say Arteta had a good season with what he did. Because coming in since December, he's been one of the best records. Just as much as Ollie has had such a good record. And you can say even Southampton have had a really good record since the turn of the year. Arsenal have had a really good record.
Since that 9-0 loss, they've been better, haven't they? It's just weird how you can lose like that, and then suddenly, I think they played Man City, didn't they? And everyone was like, "Oh God, they're gonna get battered here," and then they actually nearly won the game. They lost it right at the end, but it just showed that you can change a team's mentality after such a heavy defeat. You can go to the best team, or at the time the best team in England, and get something out of it. At least some good morale.
Did you know Arsenal had 14 draws this season?
Really?
Yeah, Arsenal had 14 draws this season. If we would have turned 3 of those draws into wins, we'd be tied in points with I think we would be 9 points more. So where would we right now? I forget. Do we have 58 points or 57 points? I forget. But we would be up there. Not only would we'd be closer to Leicester with only 3 wins. Draws being turned into wins, we would have what? That's just a big swing, 6-point swing. That's all we would need. It just goes to show you this season that everyone's saying is such a bad season. When you look at it and you actually microscopically look at it, it's not that bad.
No,
it could still be.
If you win the FA Cup, would you look at it as a good season? A progression?
I think if we win the FA Cup, you could say we had a better season than Leicester.
Yeah, agreed.
You could say we had a better season than Tottenham. You could say we had a better season than Wolves. Because guess what? Wolves are praying that Chelsea beat us. Because if we beat Chelsea, Wolves are out of Europe. And we jump straight in. And we not only jump straight in, we go into 5th, basically. Because we are now in the first bracket of getting into Europa League. And we'd be in the same bracket as Leicester, where Tottenham would be in the second draw.
Yeah.
So we would possibly get an easier matchup in the first rounds. But the first rounds of those cups never matter. What really matters is just getting in. And it's sad because we were the ones celebrating top 4. Now everyone else is celebrating top 4, and they don't get criticized because Arsenal are trendsetters. Let's be real.
What do you think the result will be then tomorrow, mate, against Chelsea? What's your predictions?
I think the fact that we're going to both be playing back threes, it's going to be cagey, and I think Arsenal are going to probably concede a goal. But Chelsea, since they got that number 3 shirt on their shirts, they've been conceding 3 goals to Sheffield United, to West Ham, and I think we're going to win 3-1. I'm overconfident. Maybe you can tell by my voice I'm overconfident right now, guys. But I honestly believe revenge. We're looking for revenge. I think Drake said it himself. Looking for revenge. We're looking for revenge, guys. We're looking for revenge. We're trying to get it. As you said it at the beginning, we're trying to get revenge for Baku.
Well, you're Canadian, so you'd know what Drake's on about. But who does he support? He has so many shirts in the Premier League, I can't even remember.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Drake is known for being a bandwagon hopper. All that matters is that when it comes to basketball, I know for a fact he supports the Raptors. But I think last time I remember, he was partying with Courtois, and he was telling Courtois he was a Chelsea fan. So
they always do that, though, don't they? Well, Kevin Costner, he supports Arsenal, mate. So I'll fully back that. You know, Robin Hood.
Yeah. All we need is James Harden, guys. All we need is James Harden. We're good. All we need is James.
Thank you very much for coming on and joining us for a very, very quick vlog, man. That's really cool.
Man.
The Kid, EG.
The Kid EG. You guys can catch me on Sonny TV Arsenal, of course. That's where I'm always at. And yo, I'll tell you something. Arsenal fans, it only can get better from here. Stop taking in the banter and just tell those people they can see what Arteta's doing. Just like people bantered Ollie, you can see the progress now. Back your manager, or else you might be in limbo forever.
Well, yeah, you look like Alex Ferguson. Like 4 years, he didn't really do anything. They were about to sack him. He won the FA Cup, and then look at the rest. You know.
Yeah, 100%.
It's the way it is, mate. Thank you. Do you want to shout out your social media so anybody that watches this can?
Yeah, I at the Kid EG on Twitter. And you guys can also follow Sonny TV Arsenal. And hey, man, you should come on sometime. We talk about United whenever you get a chance.
I've got so much to talk about, and I love talking Arsenal, Man United, because it runs in the family as well. You know, like I get it every day, mate.
We'll be back soon.
Brilliant, mate. Thank you very much for joining us today, and everybody else for watching us. Thank you very much. Please do subscribe, share, like, do whatever you can, and go check out this guy on Football Terrace as well. He's on there quite a lot. Like he's a regular, mate. You know what I mean? And I love his content. He's really good at what he says. And I know you had a bit of banter with Claude, didn't you, recently? That was quite funny. You know what I mean? You were shoving it to him, but.
Oh man, let's not go there. No, it's not something I really want to get into.
We'll save that for another time. Mate, thank you very much. Everybody, thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Peace out.
Peace.